There comes a point in life where you get tired of being soft, tired of being overlooked, tired of being underestimated, tired of letting fear, doubt, and laziness rob you of your greatness. And that's the moment where something inside you snaps, when you realize you were never built to be ordinary. You were built to conquer. You were built to dominate. You were built to become something that even pain can't stop, that even failure can't break, that even loss can't slow down. That's when the savage in you wakes up. That's when you stop making excuses and start making moves. You see, everybody wants success until they realize what it actually demands. Success doesn't come to the weak. It doesn't come to the lazy. It doesn't come to the ones who want it only when it's convenient. It comes to those who are obsessed, those who wake up hungry, those who operate with purpose, those who are willing to go through the fire and come out sharper. When I say become savage, I'm not talking about violence or ego. I'm talking about a mindset, the kind of mindset where quitting is not even an option, where comfort becomes your enemy, where pain becomes your teacher, where every single day you demand more from yourself than anyone else ever could. Most people are scared of the grind because the grind exposes the truth. It shows you who you really are. It reveals whether you got hard or just hype. It shows whether you actually want it or you just like talking about it. That's why so many people quit. Because the grind strips away their excuses, their image, their fake confidence. But if you can look at that truth and still move forward, if you can take the pain, the losses, the setbacks, and keep going, that's when you cross into a new level of power. That's when you stop being like everyone else. That's when you start becoming unstoppable. Being savage means you stop waiting for the perfect moment. You make the moment perfect. You stop asking for permission. You start taking control. Wow. You stop worrying about who believes in you because you've already decided to believe in yourself. It means you don't run from pressure. You invite it. You don't fear failure. You use it. You don't care about opinions. You care about results. And when the world tells you that you've done enough, you look them in the eye and say, I'm just getting started, because being savage isn't about being reckless. It's about being relentless. It's about waking up every single day with a mission, a purpose, a hunger that never dies. It's about understanding that life doesn't reward those who almost try. It rewards those who went all in. So if you're listening right now, I want you to lock in. Forget who you used to be. Forget what people said you couldn't do. This is your moment. This is where the weak version of you dies and the unstoppable version is born. This is where you become savage. You can't become savage while you're still addicted to comfort. Comfort is the quiet killer of dreams, the invisible enemy that disguises itself as peace. It makes you think you're okay. It convinces you that you're doing enough, that you've earned your rest, that tomorrow you'll go harder. But tomorrow never comes for the man who worships comfort. Every second you choose what's easy, you're letting go of the fire that made you hungry in the first place. Comfort doesn't announce its attack. It slowly weakens you from the inside. It's the reason you hit the snooze button, the reason you stop showing up when no one's watching, the reason you start saying it's fine when you know deep down it isn't. You can't live a savage life with a comfortable mindset. They can't coexist. One demands your effort. The other feeds on your excuses. To become savage, you have to destroy your attachment to what feels good and start falling in love with what hurts, what stretches you, what tests you. You have to develop a mindset where discomfort becomes your new comfort zone. When the alarm goes off before dawn, you don't roll over, you rise. When the world says rest, you say work. When you're tired, you remind yourself that tired doesn't mean done. A savage doesn't chase comfort, he chases challenge. Because the savage knows that comfort never created a champion, never built a legacy, never birthed greatness. Every great person you admire has one thing in common. They were willing to suffer longer, harder, and deeper than anyone else around them. Comfort is deceptive because it makes you feel like you're living, when in reality you're dying slowly. You stop chasing, you stop dreaming, you stop fighting, and eventually you stop believing. You start talking about what you used to want, who you used to be, and what you used to do. That's what comfort does. It robs you of your future and keeps you trapped in your past. To kill comfort, you have to make a conscious decision to do the hard thing every single day. You have to train your mind to go left when everyone else goes right, to step forward when everyone else steps back. You have to force yourself into environments that scare you, challenge you, and demand the best version of you. That's how the savage is born, not in luxury, not in safety, but in the trenches of struggle. Becoming savage isn't about being angry or reckless. It's about being ruthless with your own weakness. It's about cutting ties with the habits that make you soft, the people that keep you stuck, and the thoughts that keep you small. You can't expect to evolve when you're still surrounded by comfort-driven energy. Comfort attracts mediocrity. And if you spend too much time in that circle, you'll forget what it feels like to hunger. The savage mindset thrives in pressure. You've got to stop avoiding pressure and start chasing it. When you start killing your comfort, you'll notice something shift. You'll start hearing that voice inside you, the one that's been buried under fear, laziness, and doubt. It'll tell you, this is who I really am. This is what I was meant to be. That voice is your savage talking. The part of you that doesn't flinch when it's hard, that doesn't run when it's painful, that doesn't care how long it takes. But you'll never hear it if you're too busy protecting your comfort. You've got to strip away everything that keeps you safe. The excuses, the distractions, the fake confidence, and expose yourself to the grind. Because only when you face the truth about how soft you've become can you rebuild yourself into something powerful. Killing comfort means rejecting instant gratification. It means you stop chasing quick results and start building a long-term foundation. The savage understands that greatness is built one hard day at a time. Every rep in the gym, every late night study session, every early morning when you don't feel like getting up. That's where the savage earns his edge. It's not about motivation, it's about identity. The savage doesn't try to do hard things. He is the kind of person who does them. He doesn't need inspiration. His existence is the inspiration. But don't get it twisted. Killing comfort doesn't mean killing joy. It means replacing shallow comfort with deep fulfillment. Comfort says, you deserve a break. Fulfillment says, you deserve to become everything you were created to be. Comfort gives you pleasure in the moment. Fulfillment gives you purpose for a lifetime. And purpose always requires pain. That's the trade. If you want meaning, you must first embrace discomfort. You have to stop treating pain like punishment and start seeing it as preparation. Think about it. The moments that shaped you the most weren't the ones that felt good. They were the moments that broke you, humbled you, and forced you to change. Pain taught you what pleasure could. Struggle gave you strength that comfort never could. The savage understands this truth. He doesn't run from it. He respects it. Every time life pushes him down, he uses that pressure to push back harder. He doesn't cry about being tired. He gets grateful that he still has something to fight for. You can't reach your potential by protecting your comfort. You reach it by going through the fire and letting it burn away everything that's weak inside you. The savage version of you is waiting on the other side of the pain you're avoiding. But you'll never meet him if you keep choosing the easy road. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, it's too hard. I don't feel like it. You bury the savage a little deeper. But every time you say, let's go, I'll handle it, I'm not stopping, you bring him closer to life. Becoming savage isn't about how strong your body is. It's about how unbreakable your mind becomes. It's about showing up on days you don't feel like it, giving effort when no one's watching, and pushing yourself when nobody's clapping. It's about proving to yourself that nothing external, not comfort, not fear, not fatigue, can control your internal drive. You either master your comfort or your comfort masters you. There's no middle ground. So when you wake up tomorrow, remember this, the world doesn't owe you anything. Your dreams don't care how you feel. Your goals don't care how tired you are. Life is testing you to see if you're serious. Every obstacle, every delay, every setback, they're not there to stop you. They're there to ask, are you savage enough to keep going? If the answer is yes, then stop waiting for the perfect time. Stop begging for motivation. Stop hiding behind comfort. Step into the pain. Step into the grind. Step into the life you say you want. Because once you kill your comfort, there's nothing left to fear. Only growth, only power, only purpose. That's where the savage lives. To become savage, you must first understand that the world doesn't reward the soft. It doesn't hand success to those who wait for the perfect moment, or who beg for comfort, or who move only when it feels easy. The world bows to those who take it. Those who are relentless, those who go through the fire without hesitation, those who build discipline so brutal that it turns pain into fuel. This is the second phase of becoming a savage, turning your discipline into a weapon so sharp that even your weaknesses start to fear you. Most people talk about motivation, but savages talk about mastery. Motivation is temporary, it's emotional, it fades the second things get hard. But discipline is eternal. It's not based on feelings, it's based on commitment. When you're a savage, you don't need to feel good to perform. You perform because that's who you are. You show up when you're tired. You show up when no one is clapping. You show up when your body screams to stop. You do it because you've programmed yourself to never stop. You've got to stop living like you need comfort to function. The savage doesn't chase comfort, he destroys it. He takes the cold, the hunger, the exhaustion, and he welcomes it because he knows every ounce of pain is sculpting him into something unstoppable. That's the secret. You've got to teach your body and your mind that comfort is not your friend. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. It's the silent killer of potential. Discipline, on the other hand, is uncomfortable at first, but it's the only thing that will build you into someone who can't be broken. When you wake up and you don't feel like doing it, do it anyway. When you're doubting yourself, move anyway. When your emotions try to control you, silence them. Discipline is not about being perfect. It's about being consistent, especially when you have every excuse not to be. Think about it. The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't intelligence, talent, or luck. It's consistency. It's who keeps showing up. Every savage understands that consistency is the ultimate form of power. They know that if you stay locked in long enough, success becomes inevitable. You might not see results in a week or even a month, but the savage doesn't care. He's addicted to the process. He's in love with the grind. He finds peace in repetition because he knows every rep, every failure, every long night is sharpening his blade. That's why you can't break a savage. They've already been through the fire. They've already tasted pain, disappointment, betrayal, and still came back stronger. You've got to become obsessed with your mission. People will call you crazy. They'll call you too intense, too focused, too driven. Let them. That's the language of people who gave up on their own potential. A savage doesn't care about opinions. He cares about outcomes. You've got to move like your future depends on it, because it does. You've got to stop treating your dreams like a side project and start treating them like your only option. Every time you hesitate, someone else is working. Every time you rest, someone else is building. The savage mindset is understanding that every day counts. You can't waste a single one. And here's the truth that most people can't handle. Discipline is painful, but regret is worse. The savage knows that pain today means power tomorrow. They'd rather sweat now than cry later. You can't build strength without resistance. You can't build greatness without struggle. That's why the savage never prays for an easier path. He prays for a stronger back. He wants the challenges. He wants the grind. Because he knows that every battle makes him more dangerous, more focused, more unshakable. That's what discipline does. It forges your mind into steel. You've got to stop making promises to yourself that you refuse to break. That's where it begins. Stop saying, I'll try. Stop saying maybe tomorrow. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken your identity. You tell your brain that your words don't matter. But when you become a savage, your word becomes law. If you say you'll do it, you do it no matter what. You stop negotiating with your emotions. You stop waiting to feel ready. Readiness is an illusion. You act, then you adjust. That's how savages win. The difference between the average and the savage is not potential. It's discipline. The savage uses discipline to build momentum. And once that momentum is moving, nothing can stop it. They understand that momentum is built one small action at a time. Wake up early, put in the work, eat right, train hard, stay focused. You do that long enough and you'll start to feel a shift. You'll start to realize that every small choice is a brick in the empire you're building. That's when the savage starts to take form. Not when you win, but when you refuse to quit. Remember this, being disciplined doesn't mean you won't fall. It means you'll never stay down. It means when you fail, you analyze, you adjust, and you rise again. The savage knows how to take hits and keep moving. They've built resilience so deep that no rejection, no loss, no setback can destroy them. because their strength doesn't come from the outside. It's built from within. That's the power of a disciplined savage. They don't need perfect conditions. They create them. When you live with that kind of mindset, everything changes. You stop fearing failure because you know it's part of the journey. You stop comparing yourself because you're too busy improving yourself. You stop waiting for motivation because you've built a routine so strong that you move without thinking. You become unstoppable, unbreakable, untouchable, not because life got easier, but because you got harder. You built yourself into someone who doesn't fold, who doesn't flinch, who doesn't quit. So if you want to become savage, build your discipline until it becomes your identity. Stop chasing moods. Stop chasing comfort. Start chasing growth. When your discipline becomes stronger than your feelings, that's when you truly unlock your power. That's when you stop being ordinary and start becoming a force that the world can't ignore. Because at the end of the day, success doesn't go to the one who wants it most. It goes to the one who works for it relentlessly, no matter how they feel. That's what separates the savage from the rest. The third step to becoming savage is embracing chaos and turning pressure into power. This is the mindset that separates those who crumble under heat from those who rise and dominate when everything is falling apart. A savage doesn't run from pressure. He runs toward it. He doesn't hide from the storm. He becomes it. You see, most people pray for peace, for ease, for comfort, but the savage prays for pressure because he understands that pressure is where the real growth happens. Diamonds are born in pressure. Champions are made under pressure. Legends are built in chaos. When you're under pressure, that's when your true characters reveal, not when life is calm, but when life is on fire. That's when the savage mindset is tested and proven. When you embrace chaos, you stop being afraid of uncertainty. You stop trying to control everything around you and instead learn to control yourself. That's the real mastery, not controlling your circumstances, but mastering your reaction to them. Chaos exposes the weak, but it sharpens the strong. It teaches you how to stay calm when the world is loud. It teaches you how to move forward when there's no clear path. It forces you to rely on your discipline, your belief, and your inner fire when everything external fails. That's why a savage thrives in situations that destroy others, because they've trained themselves to find clarity inside the storm. You've got to understand something. Comfort creates softness, but chaos builds soldiers. When life starts getting unpredictable, when plans start falling apart, when everything seems to go wrong, that's not a curse. That's an opportunity. That's the universe testing how badly you want it. Everybody says they want success until the world starts pushing back. Everybody says they want to win until it gets hard, until it hurts, until they have to fight for it. But the savage doesn't flinch. He doesn't complain. He adapts. He evolves. He finds strength in the very things that were meant to break him. That's the difference. The average sees problems. The savage sees possibilities. The average says, "Oh, why me?" The savage says, "Oh, try me." Pressure is where transformation happens. If you never face it, you'll never grow. You can't build strength in comfort. You can't build courage in safety. You can't build greatness without adversity. Every savage understands that the harder life hits, the stronger they get. They know that pain is temporary, but power is forever. They use pain like fuel. Every rejection, every setback, every loss becomes a reason to go harder. That's what makes them dangerous. They don't run from pain. They absorb it, they channel it, they weaponize it. They've learned how to turn emotional chaos into focus, mental pressure into energy, and failure into experience. Think about it. Every time you've grown, every time you've evolved, it was never during peace. It was during chaos. It was when you were tested. It was when everything was uncertain and you were forced to dig deep. That's where warriors are born. That's where savages are built. You've got to start seeing pressure as your training ground. Every obstacle is a test of your enduring. Every challenge is a mirror reflecting who you truly are. You can't claim to be strong until life gives you a reason to prove it. And when it does, you've got two choices: collapse or conquer. The savage always chooses to conquer. When you embrace pressure, you begin to realize that chaos isn't the enemy. It's the teacher. It's shaping you, refining you, hardening you for the next level. Most people pray for peace too early. They pray for calm before they've earned it. But peace without strength is weakness. True peace comes only after you faced chaos and mastered it. That's what makes the savage different. He doesn't look for an easier life. he builds a stronger mindset. He knows that no matter how chaotic the world gets, he can handle it. And that belief makes him unstoppable. There will be moments when you feel like everything is collapsing. Your plans, your confidence, your direction. In those moments, you've got to remember, pressure is not punishment, it's preparation. Life isn't breaking you, it's building you. You're not being tested to fail, you're being tested to rise. The chaos you're in right now is the training ground for the greatness that's coming. You've got to learn how to breathe in the storm. When everyone else panics, you stay calm. When everyone else freezes, you move. When everyone else gives up, you grind harder. That's the mindset of a savage. Steady, focused, lethal, under pressure. You've got to make a decision that no matter what happens, you will not fold. You will not let life's pressure crush your spirit. You will not let fear control your moves. You will not let chaos define you. You'll define it. You'll define it. You'll look at pressure and say, I was made for this. You'll start seeing problems as practice. Every struggle is teaching you endurance. Every failure is teaching you patience. Every setback is teaching you strength. You're being trained for the version of you that's coming, the one that can't be shaken by anything or anyone. When you reach that mindset, everything changes. You stop being reactive. You stop being emotional. You start being strategic. You start seeing every challenge as an advantage. You start using pressure as motivation instead of intimidation. You start realizing that chaos is not something to survive. It's something to dominate. That's when you've truly become savage. You move with power, not panic. You act with purpose, not fear. You become the calm inside the chaos, the one who never loses control no matter how intense the storm becomes. You've got to understand this. In life, pressure will either crush you or crown you. It depends on what you do with it. The savage lets pressure crown him. He uses every ounce of it to grow sharper, smarter, and stronger. He walks through fire and comes out forged in steel. The weak look at chaos and run. The savage looks at chaos and smiles because he knows the fire can't burn him anymore. It built him. That's what it means to embrace chaos and turn pressure into power. It's not about pretending it's easy. It's not about ignoring pain. It's about facing it head on and saying, this won't break me. This will build me. It's about walking through the storm with your head high, knowing that every strike of lightning is charging your energy. Every battle is sharpening your mind. Every setback is setting you up for a comeback so big, it'll silence every doubt. When you master this level of mindset, you no longer fear life's chaos. You crave it. You see it as your arena. You use it to sharpen your skills, strengthen your spirit, and stretch your limits. Because you know that in the end, chaos doesn't destroy the savage, it reveals him. The storm doesn't drown him, it defines him. And when the dust settles, only one will still be standing, the one who embraced the chaos, turned pressure into power, and became absolutely unstoppable. When it's all said and done, life isn't about who talks the loudest, who looks the strongest, or who starts the fastest. It's about who finishes with fire still in their chest. It's about who refuses to break when the world tries to bend them. It's about who keeps pushing when their body screams stop and their mind whispers quit. You have to understand, there's no trophy for talking about what you could have done. There's no reward for almost.